making people's lives better by unleashing the power of Cummins. And that's made Cummins a global power leader.
A sudden growl under the cab turns every head on the road. A machine so fierce, it feels alive. A voice from the engine bay roars promises of power that have never been seen before. It sits inside a familiar rig, waiting to roar. What is this beast that could upend every highway rule? Prepare yourself. You're about to meet a monster crafted by Cummins. Its name? The X19. But what exactly makes this beast worthy of fear and respect? What lies beneath the hood that gives it such a voice, such presence, such raw mechanical authority? Could it really be more than just another engine and the start of something unstoppable? Meet the monster under the hood. Cummins has unveiled a new engine that feels like a monster under the hood. This engine carries the name X19. It builds on a long tradition of 19-litre inline-six engines known for their strength. For years, heavy machinery in mining and marine work has used earlier versions of this design. Now, the same basic block appears in trucks destined for the open road. The result is a highway engine that blends raw power with proven durability. The heart of the X19 sits in its 6 cylinders, arranged in a row. Each cylinder has a 159mm bore and a matching 159mm stroke. When summed up, that gives the engine a total displacement of 19 litres. Those numbers mean the X19 can draw in a massive amount of air and fuel in each cycle. In simple terms, it has the space to build a huge push on each power stroke. In off-road form, the QSK19 platform has shown it can deliver up to 700 horsepower and more than 2,000 pound-feet of torque. Cummins plans to adjust those figures to match highway needs and emission rules. Even tuned for road use, the X19 will still offer peak torque near 2,000 pound-feet and power above 500 horsepower. Those outputs place it at the top of any highway engine class. Rigs fitted with the X19 will feel the difference in everyday driving. From a stop, drivers will sense a strong pull at low engine speeds. On steep hills, the engine will maintain speed rather than struggle to climb. On long hauls, the robust design allows the engine to run for longer intervals without overheating. That durability comes from iron parts built for heavy-duty work in harsh environments. Cummins tested the QSK19 block for billions of hours in mines around the world. Bearings, connecting rods, and cooling passages all proved up to the challenge. By using those same parts in the X19, Cummins brings that level of toughness to trucks. Companies can expect longer service intervals and fewer breakdowns on long routes. Another benefit lies in the engine weight. While a 19-litre block is heavy by nature, its strength lets designers remove extra reinforcements elsewhere. The result is a package that carries its weight efficiently. Trucks gain more payload capacity and better fuel economy compared to older designs with added external gear. The deep growl of the X19 also marks its identity. This low-frequency rumble comes from 6 large pistons firing in sequence. It feels alive and gives drivers a sense of confidence. The sound also warns other road users that this rig has the power to spare. Cummins also equipped the X19 with variable geometry turbochargers. That technology lets the engine adjust to boost pressure on demand. At low engine speeds, the turbo narrows its vanes to spool up. At high speeds, it opens wide for maximum airflow. That design gives the X19 a very smooth power band from idle to redline. But power alone doesn't tell the full story. There's something deeper, more primal at work here. Something you feel in your chest before you hear it in your ears. What if the real magic of the X19 isn't just how it moves, but how it lives? A 19-litre heartbeat. Every engine has its heartbeat. The X19's rhythm comes from 6 large cylinders firing one after another. At low revs, each firing pushes a heavy piston down with force. That pulse gives the engine a strong push at slow speeds. Drivers feel each thump as the rig rolls. That pace keeps a heavy truck moving without strain. The slow beat also means the engine can handle a high load without revving hard. The X19's heartbeat is powerful and smooth, letting a loaded rig pull up hills without hesitation. Inside each cylinder sits a piston nearly the size of a human head. These pistons travel over 150 millimeters up and down with each stroke. Cummins casts these pistons with thick walls to resist heat and wear under high pressure. Each piston ring seals the chamber tightly, preventing gas leaks and oil burns. The connecting rods link pistons to the crankshaft, and these rods use forged steel to carry heavy loads. The crankshaft then converts the up and down motion into rotation, spinning the driveline. That robust assembly lets the X19 handle torque over 2,000 pound-feet without breaking a sweat. Above the cylinders sits the head, where valves control air and fuel flow. Cummins designed the head with large ports to let as much air move as possible. The intake valves open wide to admit fresh air, while exhaust valves clear spent gases. A single camshaft sits inside, using precise lobes to time each opening. That timing ensures the engine breathes cleanly at all speeds. The larger valve size also helps the engine rev smoothly. Those head and valve designs came from tests in mines and power plants, where reliability under constant use is vital. Fuel reaches each cylinder through a high-pressure common rail system. In the X19, this rail holds fuel at up to 3,000 bar. That high pressure turns fuel into a fine mist when injectors spray it into the combustion chamber. A cleaner mix burns more fully, boosting power and cutting soot. Cummins uses 8-hole injector nozzles for even spray patterns. The control unit times injection down to microseconds, adding extra shots at low load for a smoother idle. That careful control plays a big role in meeting tight emission rules without losing performance. Heat is a constant enemy inside big engines. The X19 uses a dual-pass water jacket around the block and the head. Coolant flows through 2 separate circuits, picking up heat before it moves to the radiator. A high-flow pump adjusts speed based on temperature and engine load. In hot weather or heavy work, the pump runs fast to keep the coolant moving. In easy highway runs, it slows to save energy. Radiator fans also shift speed. Together, these parts keep the block and head under safe temperatures, even when the engine works hardest. The oil keeps moving parts safe. The X19's oil pump changes flow with engine demands. On a light load, it sends less oil to save fuel. Under strain, it sends full pressure to protect bearings and rods. The pump and a large oil cooler prevent oil breakdown. The result is long oil change intervals and stable engine life. Twin turbochargers help the X19 breathe. Each turbo adjusts its vanes to deliver a boost from idle to high speed. That makes power delivery smooth across the full range. Smoke without the smoke, emissions built in. No modern diesel can ignore emission limits. The X19 meets strict rules for nitrogen oxides and soot. Rather than using large modules behind the cab, Cummins fitted all the gear into one block. This is called integrated aftertreatment. Inside that single housing sit 2 main parts. First, the diesel particulate filter. It traps tiny soot particles as the exhaust flows by. Second, the selective catalytic reduction unit. It uses a liquid called DEF to turn harmful nitrogen oxides into water and harmless nitrogen. The engine control unit keeps both parts working in balance. By moving those parts onto the engine, Cummins cut the length of the exhaust pipes. Shorter pipes lose less heat. That helps catalysts reach the ideal temperature fast. A hot catalyst works better at cleaning exhaust. A faster warm-up means less pollution during short drives and cold starts. Old systems can weigh 600 pounds or more. The X19's integrated setup weighs up to 200 pounds less. Every pound saved can turn into extra freight or better fuel use. For fleets chasing low cost per mile, that matters. To speed heating, the X19 uses a 48-volt belt-driven heater. When the engine starts, the heater element glows red. It raises the exhaust temperature inside the housing. In minutes, both filter and catalyst hit their sweet spot. That means clean exhaust even on short trips through town. Sensors inside the watch soot levels, temperature, and ammonia slip. If soot builds too fast, the control unit orders a cleanup. During this cleaning, the engine burns off trapped soot at high temperatures. Drivers see only a small message on the dashboard. No long stops or manual steps are needed. Maintenance crews will appreciate the simple layout under the hood. Unlike older setups that spread filters and catalysts across the frame, the X19's single module sits in one place. That design means faster filter inspections and easier sensor checks. A single service panel grants access to key parts. Technicians can swap out the diesel particulate filter cartridge or replace SCR dosing modules without crawling under the truck. The integrated unit also eases retrofitting to different markets. In Europe, Stage 5 rules require extra particulate trapping. In China, SIC standards call for even lower nitrogen oxide output. The X19's flexible after-treatment housing can accept different catalyst bricks and control maps while keeping the same footprint. For truck makers, this saves design time and reduces the inventory of varied parts. Having all the gear tucked in keeps the engine's shape neat. Under the truck fairing, no large cans or extra pipes appear. That helps aerodynamics and keeps the center of gravity lower. Installation on new trucks stays simple. Truck builders bolt in the X19 the same way they fit older engines. As emission rules tighten worldwide, smart packaging becomes more key than raw power alone. The X19's design shows how engineers can meet strict limits without bulky add-ons or performance loss. Brains meet brawn, digital mastery. Engines used to be purely mechanical. Springs, gears, and pulleys set fuel delivery, valve timing, and boost pressure without electronics. Today's engines run on software with pistons. The X19 uses Cummins' latest control module called Acumen. Acumen links dozens of sensors placed around the engine. Manifold absolute pressure sensors measure turbo boost. Exhaust temperature sensors watch the catalyst heat. Oil pressure and temperature sensors guard bearing health. Coolant flow meters track water jacket performance. Combustion knock sensors listen for abnormal detonations. Each sensor feeds data into a powerful processor inside the control unit. The processor runs control strategies that target power, fuel use, and emissions. On flat highway runs, Acumen switches to an economy map. That map reduces fuel delivery and limits boost for better miles per gallon. When the rig climbs a grade, the system moves to a power map, boosting fuel and turbo pressure for extra pull. All of that happens without the driver's input. The result is a smooth, responsive engine that adapts to conditions in real time. One key feature is over-the-air updates. Each X19 carries a built-in cellular modem, using 4G LTE now and ready for 5G in the future. Trucks can install new software maps without visiting a dealer. A truck in Texas receives the same update as one in Ontario at the same time. Cummins tests and signs each update, and then the engine checks the digital signature before installing. Updates happen when the engine is off to avoid any interruption. Predictive Diagnostics add another layer of value. Machine learning models learn how each X19 behaves under normal use. If vibration patterns shift or coolant flow drops, the system flags a warning. Truck managers receive alerts on mobile apps or dashboards. They can schedule service before a breakdown occurs. In one case, a large carrier cut unplanned repairs by 20% after using predictive alerts. Real-time telematics feeds data back to fleet offices. Managers view live graphs of fuel burn idle time and engine hours. They can spot drivers who idle too much or engines nearing maintenance. They download weekly reports to refine routes and schedules. One truck reduced fuel use by 2% simply by cutting idle time and optimizing shift points. Cummins also designed Acumen for future fuels. The upcoming X10 engine will run on diesel, gas, or hydrogen with simple hardware swaps. While the X19 debuts on diesel, the same control module could handle mixed fuels later. That flexibility lets trucks test low-carbon fuels without new engine blocks. Security is vital in a connected engine. Cummins built firewalls, encryption, and secure boot routines into Acumen. Each update carries a digital signature that Acumen verifies. Communications pass through secure channels to prevent spoofing or man-in-the-middle attacks. Role-based access control ensures that only authorized technicians can reprogram maps or run deep diagnostics. Encryption keys rotate regularly following best practices used in banking. Inside the cab, drivers see a simple screen. Instead of cryptic codes, they see clear icons and short messages like "Engine OK," "Service soon," or "Filter clean." That clarity keeps attention on the road and cuts confusion. By merging advanced electronics with proven iron, Cummins made the X19 not just a power source, but a platform. It learns, adapts, and warns. It updates itself. It connects drivers and managers in a digital network. That digital mastery gives the X19 an edge on any highway. Breaking away, speed and speculation. Most heavy trucks carry speed limiters set at around 70 miles per hour. This keeps rigs safe on highways. With the Cummins X19's extra power, some wonder if those locks will hold. The X19's 6 big cylinders and high-output turbos could push a loaded rig faster than ever if freed from caps. Truck tuners already tweak engine maps for fuel savings or more torque. They use handheld programmers that plug into the control port. If they load a map without a speed limit, the X19's raw muscle could let trucks creep past standard limits. Imagine a Class 8 rig rolling at 80 miles per hour on level ground, its turbos humming continuously. Talk on online trucking forums shows the truck testing limit is rising. Some report fits and start running at 75 or 80, noting smoother pulls and shorter hill climbs. Others warn of hotter exhaust and higher transmission temperatures. On steep grades, the extra speed demands more from the cooling system. Even with Cummins's integrated aftertreatment and big radiators, constant high-speed running can push temperatures close to safe limits. Regulatory delays add fuel to the rumors. The United States Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration postponed stricter speed rules until Congress also debated blocking new caps entirely. That open window lets truck managers and tuners experiment. Some see it as a chance to shave minutes off long routes. Others remain cautious, sticking to factory settings until real-world data proves it's safe. Risks come with unleashed speed. Higher velocity increases crash severity. Insurance rates could rise if trucks chase fast runs. Tire wear grows swiftly at higher speeds, and braking distances lengthen. Maintenance crews may face more frequent service for bearings and seals running hotter than intended. Still, the X19's build quality may handle the stress. Forged steel rods, thick skirt pistons, and robust cooling passages trace back to off-road QSK19 engines known for heavy-duty work. Bearing surfaces carry oil under high pressure, and oil coolers keep temperatures in check during hard pulls. These features give some confidence that the X19 can survive occasional runs beyond 70 miles per hour. Talks run wild about trucks, where mechanics test the X19 beyond limits. Some expect engineers to lift the speed cap and record runs. However, none of these trials proves performance. We will only see its true power when trucks carry loads with the X19. Cummins designed Acumen, its control system, with multiple map slots. Fleets may load an economy map for normal drives and a power map for heavy loads. A future speed map could join them, stored in sealed firmware, accessible only to verified technicians. For now, all we have are specs and talks. The X19's promise of power lets tuners dream of faster trucking. Whether those dreams become reality will depend on regulations, safety, and solid data once the engine hits the road. All eyes are on what comes next. The specs are bold, the whispers are louder. But when does talk turn to truth? When does this mechanical giant finally step into the spotlight? And who will be first to tame it? Countdown to launch. Cummins will introduce the X19 for 2026 model year trucks in the second half of 2025. Look for the first public reveal at the ACT Expo in Anaheim in October 2025 and later at the IAA Commercial Vehicles Show in Hanover in September. These events draw truck owners and media worldwide. Cummins press conferences at each show will highlight the engine's key features. Early adopters will include trucks known for testing new tech, such as Amazon's delivery network, and waste carriers seeking fuel savings. Major truck makers are updating their designs. Cab and frame layouts must accommodate the X19's integrated after-treatment unit. Plants in Columbus, Indiana, and Darlington, United Kingdom, are updating assembly lines. Production staff will train on new installation steps, including torque specs and sensor connections. Cummins is preparing over 50 service centers to handle X19 maintenance and calibration. Field trials will begin in early 2026. Cummins plans to install test units in customer rigs across several climates. In desert states like Arizona and Nevada, teams will monitor cooling performance under high heat. In northern regions, they will assess performance in cold start conditions. Urban trucks in New York City and Chicago will evaluate short-trip emissions cycles. Long-haul tests from Los Angeles to Chicago will measure fuel economy and DPF regeneration frequency. By mid-2026, Cummins will declare the X19 ready for sale. Fleets ordering 2026 tractors in late 2025 will receive the new engine by year-end. A 2-year warranty covers the engine and after-treatment module. Cummins's global parts network will stock X19-specific filters, sensors, and control modules to ensure quick repairs. Drivers can expect a good engine pull and quieter operation thanks to the integrated soot filter. Truck managers will gain lower emissions and real-time data. Tuners will see the potential for custom software maps once official firmware becomes available. The countdown is on. Soon, the X19 monster will roll onto highways and reveal its true power. Get set for impact. The X19 stands ready to rewrite the rules on horsepower, emissions, and speed. Will it break every limit or stay within the lines? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.